Rory and Sage. We are sisters traveling the world for an entire year. Today we are headed to Medellin, Colombia. And then we're literally flying across the globe. Can you believe it? I can't either. Please click the subscribe button and follow our adventure.
Give it a go, don't waste your time, 'cause you're running out. Give it a go and ask around. Only takes a try, yeah. Even if she tells you no, then at least you know. So give it a go, give it a go.
After having a super fun time in Guayaquil, Ecuador, it was time to head to our next country. Our next country was also on the continent of South America. It is actually right next to Ecuador. We were flying to Medellin, Colombia. Because of the limited flight options due to COVID, we actually had to fly back up to Miami and then back down to Colombia. See you in Colombia. Once we arrived, we took an Uber to the hotel and the ride was very scenic. Colombian mountains are beautiful. To be honest, we kind of slept through it. And our trip to Colombia was a little bit different than our other trips. Our family was starting to experience some full-time travel exhaustion. So we explored Colombia at a little bit of a slower pace. The hotel we stayed in connected to a mall. So we spent a couple days just resting, relaxing, eating at the mall, and living life kind of like a local. Something we found really interesting about this mall in Colombia was how many people brought their dogs to the mall. It seemed very normal to bring your dog to the mall for a walk or even let it roam free if you'd like. This was such a cute dog though. Another thing is, we get a lot of questions about the food we are eating in other countries. But we've noticed that most countries have a variety of different foods to choose from. One of the things we noticed in Spanish-speaking countries like Colombia is the restaurants often have a lunch special. The lunch special is a preset menu at a reduced price. It's usually 3 courses and very easy to order if you only know a little Spanish. Another thing is food is never limited to one type of local food. We're in Colombia eating Japanese. I got a bento box and I got rice with teriyaki and vegetables. Another thing we liked about Medellin was how walkable the city was. We were staying in the El Poblado area and we really enjoyed taking walks. Medellin kind of feels like a city in the middle of a rainforest. There is foliage all around and it's very pretty. While we had some downtime, we also worked on our homeschool assignments. Our parents are actually teachers and have been helping us with our homeschool as we travel. Here we are working on top score writing, which is the curriculum our parents chose for our writing assignments. Another thing to know about Medellin is that many people do not know English. When we would order food, we would have to use Spanish words we learned in school.
You did it?
Yep. These are Colombian pesos. We got a 10, a 2 twos, and which one is this one? 1,000. Today we're headed out to go explore the city of Medellin. Our Uber is on the way. It is very convenient that many countries use Uber. Uber is a very affordable and convenient way to get around in a foreign country. We saw in some of the tourist guides online that there was a big park in northern Medellin with lots of tourist attractions that seemed fun for kids, including a planetarium, botanical gardens, and a science museum. So we had our Uber driver drop us off in the middle of the attractions and then we went from there. We just had our Uber drop us off in this big park in Medellin. There's so much to do here. Right now we're in front of a big planetarium. It's like a big museum all about space. We walked in to see the start of the museum, but we didn't pay for tickets for entry. We wanted to check out all of our options before we went into an exhibit to explore. This planetarium did look pretty cool though. We're gonna go see what else there is. So we continued walking to see what else was in store. There's even little shops that you can buy souvenirs at. What are we coming up to next? I think I see a dinosaur. When we came across Parque Explora, we knew this was the exhibit for us. We decided to go in the science museum. It looks really cool. It had so many different exhibits. It had an onstage exhibit, a mind exhibit, a time museum, a music room, an aquarium, a dinosaur exhibit, a life museum, a kids' play place, and an outdoor museum with physical science activities. Our parents just had to show their vaccination cards to enter. There's a 2-for-1 discount today, so it's gonna cost $16 for all of us to enter. We bought the tickets and now it's time to go explore. We started by exploring the outside exhibit, which had physical science activities.
So keep it up right now, so keep it up.
Something we really liked about this science museum is the staff was all college students from the local university. The college students were there to guide you through the exhibit and teach you the science behind what was happening and the activities.
Days you wanna change, join the paradise, so bring it on if you wanna hang with me.
Now we're entering the aquarium. The aquarium had some species of fish that were familiar to us, and then it had other species we had never seen before. I don't mind this. The aquarium had fish that were native to the country of Colombia. They were really cool to look at. It's really helpful that the descriptions are in Spanish and English. We have noticed that many museums in foreign countries have English descriptions, so it's just as easy to follow along as it would be in a museum in America. Now we have entered the vivarium. The vivarium highlighted all of Colombia's native species of amphibians and reptiles. Is it poisonous? These are poison dart frogs. If you see one of these frogs, please don't touch it, because it's considered one of the most venomous frogs in the world. We were totally confused when we saw this creature. Like an eel mixed with a bearded dragon and a fish. This was called an axolotl, and it was completely new to us. Next, we walked through the dinosaur exhibit. The dinosaur exhibit was one of the smaller parts of the museum. Now we're entering the Mind Museum. Not a mime, silly. This part of the museum was all about how the mind works and tricking your brain's sense of reality.
You're not moving. I feel like I'm moving.
I'll be the source of all your fantasy.
That's weird.
From the top of the museum, there was a really nice view of Medellin, Colombia. As you may be able to tell from these snapshots, the sun was starting to set in Medellin, and the museum would be closing soon. Now we're entering the Music Museum. The Music Museum was super interactive and showed us different instruments Colombian used throughout history. We found the sound bath super cool. Not only did it sound cool, we made it look cool too. Next, we found the studio that allowed us to make our own music video. Needless to say, we were loving this music museum. While we were watching our music video, there was an announcement that the museum was closing. So we had to leave even though we didn't see the entire museum. That was an awesome museum. Now we're taking an Uber home. The next day, we took an Uber ride to the international airport in Medellin. We were on our way to Fiji, but you can't fly directly from Colombia to Fiji. We were embarking on quite a long journey. We first flew from Medellin to Miami, where we encountered a very busy Miami airport. Then we flew from Miami to Tampa where we met up with our grandparents. It was important for us to make a stop in Florida because we needed some equipment for our upcoming destination. We needed to buy some kid-sized snorkeling equipment so we could enjoy everything Fiji had to offer. We just picked up a snorkel and a mask for Fiji. We took the mask and snorkel right back to Grandma and Grandpa's house so we could practice with our new equipment. If you were wondering why we were snorkeling in the jacuzzi, that's because the pool is pretty cold in February, even in Florida. After 24 hours of snorkeling practice, it was time for us to continue our journey to the other side of the world. We hopped on a plane again, this time flying from Tampa to Los Angeles. This is Sage watching the American Idol premiere on the plane. In Los Angeles, we stayed one night in a hotel. We spent some time working on some homeschool before we made the big trip across the Pacific Ocean. That night, we arrived at Los Angeles International Airport, ready to fly to Fiji. We would be flying on a red-eye, meaning we would be flying overnight. The flight from Los Angeles to Fiji is almost 11 hours. It was the longest flight we've ever been on. Fiji, here we come. See you there. Luckily, there was quite a few empty seats on the plane, so we each had our own row to sleep in as if it was a bed. Even though it was a very long flight, it was also very comfortable. We arrived in Fiji as the sun was rising, but we had crossed the international date line. We left Los Angeles on February 28th and arrived in Fiji on March 2nd. We didn't care that we had literally skipped a day of our life. We were ready for an adventure of a lifetime. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and smash that like button. Bye!